They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing. They're destroying our country. They don't like it when I said that. And I never read Mein Kampf. They said, oh, Hitler said that.
Project 2025.
It's a blueprint for a radical far-right takeover of everything in the U.S. government.
And everyone's talking about it. It's really having a brat summer.
Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever.
One that would turn the Justice Department against critics, deport millions of people in the U.S. illegally, slap 10% tariffs on thousands of products, fire perhaps tens of thousands of government staff deemed insufficiently loyal.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections and will do anything possible. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream. The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within.
Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum.
That we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
They're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
And the election was rigged. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. I don't think you're going to have another election in this country if we don't win this election. We got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. My administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We return our students to the states.
Today we purchased over 500 Bibles that will be in the AP government classrooms across the state. Bible just like this.
The same Bible endorsed by Donald Trump and selling for $60 per copy.
We must make America pray again. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools.
Believe it or not, the American conservative movement has been studying the work of Antonio Gramsci for years, and his ideas on the importance of culture and ideology have had a big impact on them. The American right has concluded that the American left has been following Gramsci's lead ever since the cultural revolutions of the 1960s and captured the press, the universities, civil society, and most government institutions. To counter that, conservatives have built their own media and think tanks, cultivated an institutional base in Christian churches, and developed a narrative focused on attacking abortion rights, immigrants, and the civil rights advances of the 1960s. This so-called War for the Soul of America is central to Project 2025's Mandate for Leadership report, which presents a blueprint for MAGA and a strategic plan for the use of power. According to its logic, left-leaning elites who promote human rights, racial justice, gender equality, and environmental protection are enemies of the people. The people, of course, is shorthand for property and business owners, just as it was by the nation's founders 250 years before. A half-century before the rise of the Heritage Foundation, Gramsci wrote about how leading elements of the capitalist class build hegemonic blocks to create a ruling consensus. The block establishes commonly accepted forms of accumulation and political rule, as well as cultural and ideological domination, or ideas that become accepted as common sense. Adherents of Project 2025 are best thought of in American politics as the neo-fascist bloc. They seek stability through repression and creating a mass base through religious fundamentalism, patriarchy, and white supremacy. The project was initiated and published by the Heritage Foundation, the most influential right-wing think tank and the closest to the power centers of the right and Republican Party. It has united much of the conservative movement, their think tanks, activists, and lobbying groups with the goal of installing a much more effective, more ruthless right wing. It comes with tremendous funding and the backing of much of the political right, and believes there is a socialist plot in the highest echelons of American power. It sees a vast conspiracy with enemies everywhere, and that un-American forces have overtaken every institution. Project 2025 is a major policy and ideological projection. It is a fascist document and puts forward a strategic path to create an authoritarian Christian-dominated society through control of the state. Project 2025 is the most developed plan there is amongst the fascist bloc and has been signed by over 100 groups and think tanks. They are Trump's ideological and political brain. Trump's nihilism and feral instincts make him just the useful idiot to lead this kind of fascist project. China, globalists, political and academic elites, the left, socialists, communists. For Project 2025, it's all just one enemy. And Trump has promised the group that he plans to rid the country of what he called left vermin. Here are the 5 primary ways Project 2025 aims to turn America into a fascist state. Number 1. Purge left elites in major departments. According to the project, large sections of the State Department's workforce are left-wing and thus predisposed to disagree with the conservative president's agenda and vision. Number 2. Reverse gains in gender justice. Women's and gender rights are targets that generate a particular degree of fear and hatred in Project 2025. The group advocates the abolition of the Gender Policy Council, and it wants to delete a host of terms such as sexual orientation, gender identity, gender equality, gender equity, abortion, and dozens of others. The group also wants every U.S. state to be required to report exactly how many abortions take place, the gestational age of each child, and why the abortion took place, as well as the mother's home residency. 3. End environmental justice and protection projects. When it comes to environmental science and regulations, Project 2025 takes the same extreme approach. It wants to abolish the Office of Domestic Climate Policy, the Office of Environmental Justice and Civil Rights, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration because it, quote, constitutes one of the main drivers of climate change alarm industry. It goes on to state that environmental extremism serves to undermine the strength of the United States. Number 4. Dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. As for confronting racial inequality and discrimination, Project 2025 wants every department, from the Department of Labor to the U.S. Agency for International Development, to be scrubbed clean of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and treat the participation in any critical race theory or diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives as grounds for termination of employment. Furthermore, Project 2025 warns bureaucrats at the Department of Education, quote, inject racist, anti-American, ahistorical propaganda into classrooms, and critical race theory and gender ideology should be excluded from curriculum in every public school in the country because they poison our children. This coincides with Trump calling immigrants animals that poison the blood of the country. Number 5. Restore traditional values through state action. Project 2025 states that all policy should be guided by traditional values. According to Project 2025, the pursuit of the good life is found primarily in family, in marriage, children, and, above all, in religious devotion and spirituality. Project 2025 is a well-organized, very well-financed, highly motivated, and ideological rigorous fascist enterprise.